Welcome to Bowtie. Sometimes call myself Ashley and Ed. Good evening, Ed. It's good
Good
morning, but you
evening,
know
or
what?
morning, or afternoon.
Yeah, I
How are
don't
you?
know. After saying good evening for about what is it, 3 years? I can't
Yeah,
not now. So anyway, yeah,
well, it's all
there we
right.
are. And good morning, James.
Good everything, gents. How are we doing?
Well, very good. And you're on your laptop, which is good. Usually we see you in
Mm,
portrait mode, so I'm enjoying this.
indeed. Yes, I suspect this will be a rare treat for me, but I will enjoy it while it lasts.
Enjoy it when that lasts. So Edward, as always, gives away what we're here to discuss because he's got his background on, which is Stranger Things. Now, I don't know when Stranger Things came out. Was it about 10 years ago? Is it now?
Yeah.
Maybe more. I don't know. I still haven't seen it because I don't know why. I've always been a bit like this. I don't like watching things when they're actually popular and famous. If you know me, I don't know why. Maybe it's just that I don't like to go with the crowd. I don't know. But now 10 years, enough time has passed that I could probably watch it now. Still very popular though. There's loads of merch and stuff out there, so maybe I need to leave it longer. But Edward was like, "You need to watch it." James was like, "You need to watch it," and quite a lot of people have said to me, "You need to watch it." So I watched the pilot, which Ed is going to give you the actual title of now in a second because he's
Yeah,
just
I will. Yeah,
so yeah.
it's
So
called the Vanishing of Will Byers.
the Vanishing of Will Byers. Okay, so I've only watched one episode, so I'm going to give you my little critique of it, and then we're going to go to the gents who will basically go through it a little bit more because they've seen it all the way through. I think we've seen it all the way through, haven't you, guys? Yep. Yeah. Um. Right. If I was going to do it in my way, which is very short, I'd just say X Files in the 80s. If we do it Ed's way, so I watched it and I thought to myself, well, I'm quite liking this really. It's a bit like the flashbacks that we had of Fox Mulder, back in the 70s, 80s. Quite I don't know if you've ever seen Sex Education, which probably not, but it's set in a different time frame from us, I like the furnishings, I like the look of it. Um Clearly just watching it, we've got some monsters that are lurking around that so far we don't really get to see. We've got Millie Bobby Brown. Is that right? Yeah. Millie Bob Brown, who is 11, who is clearly, I can't work out whether she is an alien in a human form or a human with supernatural capabilities and extra capabilities. But whatever it is, clearly somebody wants her. Yeah. Um, and I suppose it's like not dislike the X Files where you'd have that sort of special character who's running around and the FBI or someone, not necessarily the FBI, higher up, working for the cigarette smoking man, was really trying to track him down and do stuff like that. So based on what I've seen, it kind of reminds me of that, but obviously a different take on it, more from the take of the actual people that are living the experience. So I might actually really start watching it. Some of the bit like my wife watched it, she really likes it. I was too busy watching serial killer things, I think, while she was enjoying this. So that's probably why I didn't watch it with her. But now I feel like I probably should. So based on what I've seen so far, quite nice. FBI agents. Well, I don't know. There's three random black people in black clothes that turned up and shot someone. So I don't know who they are yet. But I'm sure that'll all become clear. Or maybe I just wasn't watching it clear enough. Enough. But I did enjoy it. So enough it's captured me. I did feel it was a bit slow though. But my wife says that it does get pacier and you get to see more monsters and stuff. So I felt, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I always tend to think that the pilot should be all your great stuff because that's how you're sending it to the network. And if it's not good enough, mm. But based on what other people have said, I'm going to carry on watching it. So I would give it, based on what I've seen, a score, which I'm not going to tell you now because that's for the end, isn't it? I forgot about that. So yeah, I actually did enjoy it. There's lots of things on there. It's intrigued me enough. It's intrigued me enough, and I like the setting of it. And also because I know that it's actually got quite a good soundtrack, isn't it? I think later down the line, so I might like it for that reason as well. But I'm going to go. Do you know what? I'm going to go to James next, actually, because usually I go to Ed and then I go there. But James,
Hello.
so tell me a little bit more. Tell me a little bit more, and also as if you were someone who's never seen it, which was me until this week, actually. So
Well, it is interesting because I have a different viewing it, having rewatched the first episode, than when I first came to it, because I was not interested at all when it first came out. And my son um, loved it, and he kept going on at me saying, well, "Watch Stranger Things with me. Watch Stranger Things with me. It's all about the '80s, and you're old, so you'll recognise it." Well, great, well, thanks for that. And I did eventually give in and started watching it with him. It was a slow burn for me. I didn't start to really actively enjoy it and watch it out of choice, and probably until the end of season two, season three onwards, which is when I think it hit its peak. I think it got better and better after that. But the first two seasons, I was really watching because my lad wanted me to watch it, so I watched it with him, and there were bits that I enjoyed. Obviously, I think most people our age, Hopper's probably favorite character, and he's someone who probably the main reason I kept watching it back in the early days. The child actors, I think, became very, very good. They were still good in those early shows and in episode one, but they are noticeably, obviously, they're younger and they are still learning their craft, and they became excellent. They were okay. I think in the first season and that first episode, they were fine enough for me to carry on watching it. But then when I come back and do a rewatch, having become a fan of it later on and really enjoyed it, I appreciate it an awful lot more. I mean, I take your point. It is a slow opener, and you think from a marketing perspective, maybe that's a questionable choice because, as you said, Ash, you probably want to throw everything in, here are all the monsters, and this is everything you're going to see. We'll make it very exciting. So you come back next week, or you download the rest, whatever it is people do these days. And it wasn't, which is it's a brave choice, I think, in itself, because there are enough teasers within it and enough mystery within it to make you want to know, well, who is this girl? Exactly the kind of thoughts you're having, Ash. Is she an alien? Because there is that kind of an X-Filesy feel to it, or is she a kid with psychic powers or whatever they're experimenting on? Will's a very interesting character. They all are. They're all very well crafted characters, but the difficulties he's having, obviously got a troubled home life as well. His mum has issues, and seeing all of that play out over the 5 seasons, whatever, is brilliant, and how everybody develops. I think it's really beautifully written characterization. But yes, the first episode, I think, is a teaser more than a this is everything you're going to get. Come back and download the season now. And I think there are enough layers in there to make it interesting. I do think for the adult audience, Hopper is, and I keep forgetting the character's name, but Winona Ryder's character are the main reasons you see that. It obviously draws a hell of a lot of nostalgia. I mean, it's not so much now, but a couple of years back, the whole 80s revival thing was in pop culture was a big thing, and I think that is largely due to the influence of Stranger Things. It got everybody remembering the 80s and the music and the visuals. How the shopping mall, as they call it in America, is the shopping mall looked. The technology being so much different to what we have and take for granted today. So there's a huge nostalgia element to it, which I think probably got the adult audiences in, because it is essentially, certainly in that first season, it's about the kids, and it's from that point of view, you think maybe it's a young teens market that they're going for, but it ended up getting, I think, a lot of demographics, a lot of people from different ages really following it, because primarily because of the nostalgia, at least to start with, but then the character journeys of not only the youngsters growing up through the 80s and all of these traumatic events that are happening, but again, primarily what was happening with Hopper and Winona Ryder. again, I forget the character's name. I'm so sorry. So there's enough hooks within episode one to make you come back. As I said, that's looking at it from the perspective of I've seen it all, go back and watched it. I enjoyed it a lot more. It did at the time when I first started watching it. I was kind of okay, fine, but I'm only going to watch it because my son sat next to me and making a big thing of it, and it took a while for me to get into it properly. But I think it was very effective, and as a storytelling technique, I like that. They didn't throw it now. I like that they didn't throw everything in the first episode, and it was just keep you guessing. We're not going to explain who she is. We're not going to explain why she's being chased. We're not going to explain yet why the sheriff is so lethargic and clearly in a bad way. And yeah, how the characters are going to connect, because they all seem very opposed to each other. Apart from this core group of kids with their D&D connection, the kids are really, really tight. All the adults around them who you'd expect them to be going to for advice and steer them through that, they're all chaotic. I think all the adult characters are in some form of crisis or emotionally disengaged with everybody else. So that's really intriguing. I can tell obviously straight away why kids love to watch it. And yeah, I think it's a show that grew, and not just in terms of audience, but grew in the quality of its storytelling. So episode one, slow burn, but now looking back, I like it that it's a slow burn.
Very good, very good. Oh my God, I've actually got something I've got something right, maybe. Usually I go such and such, and everyone goes, yeah. Anyway, and then this is how it is. So I'm now going to go to Ed, see what Ed thinks. See what Ed thinks.
Yeah, James Joyce.
Joyce. Yes,
not James Joyce. James, Joyce.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you.
But so Stranger Things really, I think, will go down in history as probably the first big smash of the streaming era. It was the first almost show on streaming that had water cooler moments where people you didn't expect to have Netflix, because 10, 11 years ago, it wasn't a bigger thing as it is now. People in work saying, "Oh, have you seen Stranger Things on Netflix? Have you seen Stranger?" And then people were actually talking about, like they used to talk about old TV shows that were on TV. So it was a bit of a sensation. And I think the success of Stranger Things really is linked to the success of streaming. I think if this hadn't been as popular as it was, I think streaming probably would still be there, but it wouldn't be as big a thing as it is now. It really contributes to the success of Netflix as a business. They just hit on something, like you said, James, the nostalgia piece. The people who are subscribers now are the parents of kids who are like that. Oh, we're like that in the 80s. So I can see myself in the three main lads. I used to play Dungeons and Dragons in the 80s, so I can see myself there. But yeah, absolutely the first big show from the streaming era, which sort of got outside that, oh, it's only geeks who watch streaming. Streaming became mainstream almost because of the demand for Stranger Things in the mainstream audience. So that's my first thing I'm going to say. Yeah, it's got that 80s nostalgia, but it's not an 80s theme park. It's not everyone wearing leg warmers and things. It looks like the 80s actually looked, if you know what I mean, rather than sometimes you have things set in the 60s, everyone's a hippie, and it wasn't like that. But it's an 80s. It gets the era. It's era. I think the era's correct. They get the era absolutely correct in it. Like you said, the kids are like chilled. Everything. The parents come from that sort of paranoid Cold War Reagan America era, so they're going to be fraught anyway with what's going on in the world. So yeah, the Cold War, Reaganomics, etc. It was all there, so that was probably playing on a lot of the adults' minds in that. What I saw it like more than the X-Files, I saw it. I'm currently I've just watched Welcome to Derry, and I found Welcome to Derry like Strange Things if it was horror. So, and the It film is very, very much like, especially part one, is very like Strange Things, but it's horror rather than sci-fi. And Finn Wolfhard's actually in both of them as well, as playing quite a similar character in both of them. So yeah, I mean, it was a platform for the careers of David Harbour. David Harbour's now a massive name. The chap that played what's his name, James, the cop Hopper. The cop.
Upper,
So that,
yes.
that made David Harbour's career. It's made Millie Bobby Brown a household name as well. The fact that a film star, someone of Winona Ryder's standing, was in and what at the time was potentially a gamble to a really niche platform. That and then later on you've got Sean Astin in it as well. So you've got some really really big names that are in it. So I agree with you as well, James. The first episode does exactly what it has to. It dangles enough carrots in front of you to make you want to watch more, and you haven't got the thing like, that was a bit boring. I'm not going to watch it next week. It was like this episode two will, if you don't get to touch your remote, episode two will play automatically now. You don't have to wait that week. You're not going to forget about it. It's there. So if we watch the next episode, yeah, go on. There's nothing else on, and then so again, it's a different way people watch TV. People binge watch, people box set because of programs like Stranger Things. Exactly what it needs to do. It's got a very clever show don't tell. There's no great big exposition dumps. You find out that Will's mum Joyce, played by Winona Ryder, has had a divorce because she's on the phone, trying to get her ex-husband to get involved because the son's gone. Will has gone missing. You find out that the kids are the geeks that are picked on because you see the kids being picked on in school. You find out about Hopper from watching Hopper. There's not this good, oh, Hopper, remember when this happened? There's none of that. It's all very, very natural, slow character building. And I think that bit right at the very, very, very end of the first episode where Eleven bumps into three guys, the stories dovetail, you're going to think, right, what happens next? And as a cliffhanger and as an episode one ender, I think that's the great way to end it because the stories, all these disparate stories, suddenly, boom, dovetail really, really nicely together. And with that, an institution was born. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it probably as much watching it an hour or so ago as I did when I watched it, gosh, 9 or 10 years ago when it first came out. But it was one of those ones I watched because someone told me about it. It was I think it actually made me subscribe to Netflix for the first time because I didn't have it, and that's the impact of a show like this, and I think that's how the shows are going to be impactful going forward. The likes of Slow Horses and Bridgerton, and I can name a few, but it's word of mouth and impact from the streaming platforms rather than traditional TV. It proves that the way we watch TV has changed completely in the last 10 years, and it really is. A lot of it is down to Netflix and Stranger Things, and I'll stop there.
Well, pretty glowy recommendations, and I think based on what I've seen, reason for me to carry on watching. I think. Um,
I just want to ask, because I know it's not episode one, and we won't give spoilers in case you haven't watched it. What are your thoughts then, Ed, on the finale?
I thought it finished as it should have finished. I thought it was a beautiful finale. I thought the way they did it was great, that they gave it time to breathe. It wasn't we press a magic button and everyone says hooray. It was given time to breathe. The impact of it was felt, and it shows you how the kids have grown from being 10-year-old kids playing Dungeons and Dragons to being young adults, and how they pass the torch on to the next generation. I thought it was an absolutely perfect ending. I couldn't think how it was going to end. And when I saw it, I thought, yeah, that's exactly how I want it to end.
Mm. Yeah, I think I agree because it got a very mixed reception from the diehards, isn't it? Because there was that ambiguity around one of the characters at the end. But maybe it's the writer. Really. I love that. I love that you can decide yourself. You don't have to be told everything. There's two or three things that could have happened, and pick which one you want. You don't need to have it laid out. And I personally agree. Yeah, agree with you. I think it ended fantastically. Everybody has not closure, but they are all in better a better place. And exactly that scene with passing on the D&D board to to the young kids, I thought it was really really lovely. So yeah, I was very happy with that conclusion.
Yeah.
So good, lovely.
Just coming back, as I forgot to say, Ash touched on the use of music in it, and it's not exclusively an 80s soundtrack. There was just a bit when the people come to try and extract Lev from the cafe where he's hiding out. The use of the song "White Rabbit" by Jefferson Airplane is just brilliant. The way it just uses that piece of music, it's brilliant, and it does this all the way through. I mean, it was again responsible for Kate Bush's running up that hill, getting to #1. That's how big the show is. So yeah, so the use of music, it is music sort of is part of the DNA of the show as well, and as plot devices as well, not just as incidental music.
Is the never-ending
Yeah.
story in there?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
God, yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's one of my favourite scenes of anything ever. I love
Yeah.
I love that scene. And yeah, keep watching, if only for that, Ash.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to score it on episode 1 then, or pilot or full title, coming up on the screen because I can't remember what Ed said. But so based on that, I'm going to give it an 8. I think maybe 7.5 actually, because it was a bit slower than I would like, but it still intrigued me. Yeah, 7.5. Oh, Ed's getting his calculator out.
I'm getting my calculator right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ash is giving it 7 now. Let me just AC this 7.5. Oh, okay. James, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. And if you'd asked me this when I first saw it, I would have probably given it a 5 because I just was not invested. But based on the rewatch, I will give it an 8 as well. I thought it was really, really well done and brave to approach a new series in that way. And yeah, tease and not exposition dump, as you said. So I will give it a very strong 8.
Yeah. And I'm going to say exactly the same. A very, very strong 8. It did everything it needed to do to keep a new audience who actually had to. You think that they had to go and put their hands in their pockets to watch us every month as well. It wasn't on the every week. It wasn't on the TV. It did enough to get people to hand over their credit card details and subscribe to Netflix. So it really is instrumental in the changing the face of television. It did enough to guarantee that audience, enough to guarantee streaming's future. But yeah, no exposition, lovely plot threads dangling, that lovely cliffhanger to end it off. Yeah, definitely strong 8.
So Edward, let's get ready to say that can't be right.
No, it is right. Actually, 7.83.
That can't be
Okay.
right.
No, it is right.
Yeah, I know it is.
Yeah, I've learned how to use my calculator at
I
last.
just want to say it. I'm going to just.
Okay, well, that can be right. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be right. I'm actually going to go. That's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to go off here now in a second, and I'm going to design a T-shirt with Ed, and that can't be right on it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go and do. That's my plan.
Okay.
Well, on a 7.8, what 3?
7.83.
3. I think that's quite a strong review. I'm going to watch a bit more. I pay for Netflix, but I never watch it. That's just because everyone else watches what they want to watch. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to, take control of that remote and or phone actually. Just cast it, and watch some more. Gents, it's been a pleasure as always. And on that bombshell, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
This is Hawkins. I know the worst thing that's ever happened here in the 4 years I've been working here. It was when an owl attacked Eleanor Gillespie's head because it thought that her hair was a nest. Out of 100 times, kid goes missing. The kid is with a parent or a relative.
What about the other time?
What?
You said 99 out of 100. What about the other time? The one!
I think she knows what happened to him.
And the girl?
She can't have gone far.
What the hell?
You know Will? Do you know where he is?
Hiding.
From who?
Maybe Will saw something that he shouldn't have.